Lee has been in the news. The President of the United States, and no, we're not going into the President and his political views or anything, but the President has declared a state of emergency on opioid abuse. Now, yes, of all the stories, I kind of expect this one to get demonetized, so I'm not going to be terribly surprised if a story on opioid abuse gets demonetized. But what has happened is that there are some charges being filed in the District of Massachusetts against Insys, a pharmaceutical company. The founder, I'm not sure if it's Michael Babich or one of these other people, but the founder of Insys has been charged with racketeering in a scheme to sell and provide opioids to people who don't need them through doctors and pharmacies and all their normal channels. And this is 79 pages long, and we are 2 hours into a live stream, so I'm probably not going to read this in its entirety. But I wanted you to be aware, because this is a fun one. Maybe I'll do a bridge. Maybe I'll do a kinder guide of this indictment, since it's 80 pages long, explaining what exactly they were charged with and why, and etc. They basically are being charged with selling fentanyl spray, which is an extremely powerful opioid, way more powerful than heroin. Some of the major overdose problems that we're having in some communities these days are because of fentanyl and other opioids as well. But fentanyl itself does not, people don't know how powerful it is, don't know how to properly dose themselves with it, and so they end up overdosing. And since they're using it illegally, they're not doing this, in a way that they feel comfortable going to the doctor to make sure they're doing it right. They're doing it illegally, so they're doing it at their homes or whatever, or worse, and they're finding themselves in an overdose situation, and it's happening at an alarming rate. I do believe the numbers are correct, that it's worse than current gun homicides, gun suicides, and car accidents combined. I believe the problem is one of the larger problems in the world. Well, at least the larger problems in our country right now. So the fact that these pharmaceutical companies, or at least this one pharmaceutical company, prescribed these illegally in order for users to get the drugs through legal channels, and the pharmaceutical company could profit from it. And so they've all been charged with this. They conspired with defendants and other persons and entities to engage in the various criminal activities described below. Summary of the allegations. The company launched the fentanyl spray in March of 2012, a powerful and dangerous opioid approved to treat breakthrough cancer pain, into a small national market that had a lot of competitors. Because of the potential dangers posed by the misuse of opioids, fentanyl is designated as Schedule II, and products containing fentanyl are tightly controlled. In addition to being tightly controlled, it's expensive. Following the launch of the spray in 2012, the defendants quickly grew dissatisfied with the success of the drug. They sought to devise and foster a scheme to profit by using bribes and fraud to cause the illicit distribution of fentanyl spray. They sought to bribe practitioners to prescribe the spray outside of the usual course of their professional practice. They used bribes and kickbacks to cause practitioners to issue new prescriptions, as well as increase dosages, volumes, and existing prescriptions. The bribes and kickback took forms of speaker fees, honoraria, food and entertainment, administrative support, and fees paid to co-conspirator pharmacies. They were reluctant to approve payment for a drug when it was prescribed for patients without cancer. The potential for profits generated by the bribes could not be fully realized until insurers authorized payment. Accordingly, together with the co-conspirators, they sought to mislead and defraud insurers and the agents of insurers into authorizing payments for the fentanyl spray. So not only did they bribe doctors, they misled insurers. From a call center at corporate headquarters, co-conspirators defrauded insurers, caused illicit distribution of fentanyl, disguised the identity and location of their employer, misrepresented patient diagnoses, the type of pain being treated, and the patient's course of treatment with other medications. Bribing practitioners and pharmacies, etc., etc., etc. I'm going to stop that there because that goes on for 70 more pages. Also, the dog is done, so you know that's the end of that. And we'll try to level this real quick. I hadn't planned for that. So what do we think of that? That is a very interesting case that I think I'm going to cover a little bit longer on a finished, recorded, edited video because of its extreme length. So what do we think of that? Yes, I couldn't also help but notice that THC and marijuana are still Schedule 1, but in the interest of keeping my videos monetized, I'm not going to go any further into that.